Dredge.
Dredge. I'm gonna find this.
Do they like to dredge stuff, say through the marsh,
Like John Dredge?
or Judge Dredge?
Judge Dredge.
The band's name is Dredge.
Yes. D-R-E-D-G.
I know how to spell Dredge. Alright.
We should spell all of our words for Miguel.
I was looking on SoundCloud. I didn't find anything for Dredge.
Oh, they're that underground, huh?
And they're too hipster for SoundCloud, apparently.
Oh.
SoundCloud's pretty hipster.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, this is a sludge judge. That's not what you're talking about, dude.
You could
tell me a song they play.
why don't you just get some music from Super Sex 420?
What does that mean?
He's on SoundCloud. Or
Is
she.
that your other name?
That's really their name, is Super Sex 420.
Or is that your other name?
Oh, is that my other? No, I'm not Canadian. I'm sorry.
Super 6420. Ah! Is this them?
And Jeffy left.
What am I listening to?
It sounds like it's just you're playing from your phone.
Whoa.
But the funny thing is that if you tweet that music, he will like you and thank you for it. Pretty cool guy.
Oh, cool guy. How you doing?
Oh, that was intense, man. I think this is Jesse's stuff right here, man. Let's see. Sounds like a Jesse song. Has drums.
There's drums. Classic Jesse.
Move my hands and feet, watch me crawl on my nerves.
I could
Throw me to the
do graphs to this song.
Yeah.
You wanted to get high today?
See myself doing graphs to that. Compared over here, or Randall's. What the hell, Randall had me playing?
Yeah.
He likes that heavy metal stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna type in death into SoundCloud.
Okay, do that.
Death Cat for Cutie came up.
No.
That's the same thing, right?
Oh my God, Ebola.
You found it.
Her song in your heart.
Enough. No. I always go back to this song. You know why? Because the song just gets me pumped up.
Play symbolic. Oh, no. Play empty words.
Play closing time.
Get into this shit. We need excitement. We need to get in there. You know what I mean?
I like the name of the show is because that's a song called Empty Words.
What?
Yeah.
Tell me that doesn't get you pumped up.
I'm excited. I am ready to go.
Play the song, the theme song of the show.
Oh,
How many viewers do we have?
you mean this song?
No, Death Empty Words.
Flawless. Which song you wanted?
Everybody plays that. Play the last one again.
Flawless victory. Backflip. Oh yeah. That's just gonna be doing these backflips over here. Anyways, all right. We are going to jump into this episode 15.
Welcome to Empty Rant with Tony
That's from American Idol?
Randall,
I saw him in a bar once.
Jesse,
I don't know how to answer this question.
Miguel,
Hashtag
Empty Rant.
Alright, there we go.
Your choices for quotes seem to get worse every time.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't
started
see.
out pretty good.
Oh, except for Tony's, apparently. Those are great.
I'm sorry. Did somebody else want to do this? Whatever. I got these
Oh, boy.
explosives. Tell me to play an explosion right now.
Boo!
Alright. Just awesome. Here we are, episode 15. We are going to be talking about a lot of things.
Hello, everybody.
We got Tony. Tony's always dependable. He's there. He's always
Oh,
good at criticizing my work. So let's give it up for Tony.
thank
Oh,
you.
did you record some of his conversations with you this week?
No, I did not. I did not.
Oh, boo.
I would
For all-
love to hear those.
For all you ladies out there, that sexy voice right there is Rantle. How you doing, Rantle?
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
You get 2 explosions. You're welcome. And then we have Jesse, of course, returning. Jesse, how you doing, man?
Jesse
Pretty good.
presents.
Pretty good. Jesse
Yeah?
presents Uncle Jesse.
Uncle Jesse presents Empty Rant, a Uncle Jesse production.
Jesse gets half an explosion.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. Look.
I feel so incomplete when you play that.
They have like. And then, of course, me, Big Mig Diaz, right here. Look at that.
Wow, you get the full explosion.
Oh yeah! And so we are live on YouTube right now. Hopefully we. Oh yeah, we got one viewer over here. We're over here tweeting. Those of y'all that are watching us, if you want to tweet us some questions or whatever, we can definitely. You can join the discussion if you'd like. You guys, what's going on? What's going on today?
Remember the 5th of November.
Ah yeah.
Really? Look at that. It's the fifth.
Y'all know the saying about, or I mean, the history behind that.
Tell us. Okay.
Well, I mean, now Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong, which you're really good at. Goes with the gunpowder plot back in what was that date? What's the date, Randall?
What's the date?
Yeah, when was that? The original, but not the movie. But anyways, it goes with it. They were trying to blow up Parliament.
When Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the British Parliament, I guess it'd be British Parliament, English Parliament.
Yeah,
That
British
was
Parliament.
in November 5th. I want to say 1586, but I'm probably wrong.
1586. That sounds about right. Sounds about right. So yeah, Guy Fawkes was one of the conspirators there, one of the 11 that was tried, and they found him guilty, and they beheaded him, and he lived on November 5th as a sign of like revolution, which we saw him come back in the movies, and then also you see him as the mascot for Anonymous and Occupy, whatever. Always coming back. Yeah. Hey, weren't you, Jesse? You were Guy Fawkes, is that correct?
For Halloween, yeah. Good old V.
OV. Okay. How did that feel? Did you feel like that made you more of a man?
Yeah, the mask with the makeup made me
Take
feel more like a
down
man.
any government.
He's the manliest man I know.
I did. I mean, it was cool. That was like the most elaborate costume I think I've worn in the past few years, but it was a little difficult to wear with my glasses. So I just wore the mask without him, so I was pretty much blind all night. So if you saw me and I didn't wave to you, my bad.
In 1605, it was a failed conspiracy by a group of provincial English Catholics to assassinate the Protestant King James I of England and replace him with a Catholic head of state. There we go. November. The 5th of
Do
November.
you agree with that, or do you disagree with that?
I mean,
Would you like a Catholic head of state?
don't we kind of have that with the current Pope? I mean, I feel like
No,
Pope
no,
is,
no, 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 no. In this country.
he's the third part of the triangular Illuminati, leg there. I mean,
Oh, here we go. We're into bullshit land.
then we got the Queen, and then we have Obama. So all together, boom, boom.
You did it. You did it. You got them. Knocked them all down. You got a Catholic, a Protestant, and a supposed Muslim. So there you go.
I mean, that's what they were shooting for, right? You can't say Muslim on the show because it's explosive.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See what I did there?
Lord, I apologize.
You're going to hell.
I can do that. Hey, Tony, you never sent me that clip, by the way. If you want to send me that,
Oh.
Tony,
that's for
Tony,
later.
let's talk about toys, Tony.
And also keep
yeah.
an eye on the Twitter while you guys, because we have some people on there, and hopefully the viewer that's watching right now can tweet us. That'd be awesome. And answer some questions. I put a bunch of hashtags on that latest tweet so that people could.
Tony, what toy are you looking at this week that you want to get?
Huh.
You're our toy man here. You're our toy correspondent on the show.
What kind of toys? I mean, are we talking
Yeah.
about dogs? Talking about chimps, crows, mooses? What you got for me, man? What you got for me, bro?
Jeez. Whatever. What kind of toy? I mean.
Well,
Whatever
what would you like, Tony? I mean, would you like a Godzilla figurine? Would you like something from, say, Aliens or Predator? Or would you like a sex toy? What do you want, Tony? I don't know what you want. I just want you to talk about it. That's all I want from you, Tony.
Tony.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at some Godzilla toys because I have the just plain Godzilla from SH Monster Arts, and I figured, oh, he has nobody to fight, so I wanted somebody to fight. I've been looking up stuff. Gigan from Godzilla Final Wars looks pretty cool.
Awesome.
Also, Space Godzilla both from SH Monster Arts. I've been looking at what they have. Also, their Godzilla 2014 figure. Maybe that'll be my collection of just Godzilla, not any of the other monsters. I don't know. I right now I have one Godzilla figure, and that's all I have. So I haven't really started a collection. I was just sort of looking at them. And SH Monster Arts seems the way to go for that. But yeah.
Tony,
What do you?
did you buy a toy? Is that what's going on right now? What's going on with this
I don't
conversation?
know. Like a long time ago, I got a Godzilla figure, and
Okay. And then after that, what?
I don't know. I've been on a Godzilla kick. I've been watching movies, and
Oh, what kind of movies have you seen?
well, I watched first Godzilla vs. Hedorah, which I thought was pretty cool. It was the classic Godzilla, but it was real cartoony, and he was, making weird like gestures, and it was more of a silly kids Godzilla. But I did like the themes that Hedorah brought in, pollution and that kind of sort of thing. But then I also watched Godzilla vs. Biollante, which was pretty good, and then I just finished watching Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, the 1991 version. I'm sort of going in order because there's 30 Godzilla movies, and I've probably only seen I don't know, 5 or 6.
Tony, I gotta ask you. Have you seen the Democratic People's Republic of Korea version of Godzilla called Pulgasari?
No. Please tell me more about this.
If I got a copy, would you watch it? Because I'm going to be visiting Texas real soon,
Could you
and
repeat the name? 'Cause,
Pulgasari.
no.
Go look it up. You can go look it up. It's a legitimate thing.
Oh, okay. I'll look it up.
I think Kim Jong-il felt like he had to one-up the Japanese and make his own version of a Godzilla movie. Except
Nice.
it's full of class war and class consciousness
Oh my god. That
from
sounds
Korea.
amazing.
How old is that? Or how recent, actually?
1984, if I remember right.
That's cool.
1984.
So Tony, how do you feel about that? Does that offend your American sensibilities?
Well, I mean, this isn't an American thing. It's a Japanese thing.
You are our resident monster expert. You're our kaiju guy on this show.
Oh, okay.
The rest of us here, we can't do kaiju like you do the kaiju. So, how does this make you feel that these folks made something that is so derivative of your beloved monster?
So they took Godzilla and they made it into a political message. Is that what I'm getting here?
You could say that.
I mean, whatever. They've done. They can do whatever they want. They're evil. Wait, who are we talking about? North Korea?
They're evil. They're
North
evil.
Korea?
They're just people too, Tony. You can't go and paint with a broad brush like that.
I mean, I guess.
I bet the guy who was wearing that outfit wasn't evil. I mean, he would probably had a gun to his head and was told to act like a monster, otherwise he's gonna get shot.
Hey, you remember Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Whenever he's running from whoever, and then he runs onto that set of Godzilla.
Vaguely, yeah.
That was funny.
Do you
Yeah?
prefer the word toys or action figures, Tony?
Whichever. Toys is fine.
Jesse, do you prefer comic books or graphic novels?
Well, those are different.
Are they? Ah, that was an accident. No, but are they? That was a machine.
Graphic novel is a collection of single-issue comic books, so it depends on what you're holding.
So a graphic novel is just a large comic book.
It's a collection of multiple comic books. So within comic books, they do single issues to create one large story arc. But most people prefer not to read one and then have to wait 2 or 3 weeks to read the second part. So they just wait until the graphic novel comes out so they can read the story as a whole from beginning to end, and without having to wait in a span of weeks or months.
I don't really like that distinction because it sounds like you're trying to make it fancy. The graphic novel. I like to be proud of it and say, these are comics. This is comics in collected form. And this is comics. Comics is the word we're using here. And I don't think we should be like, ooh, graphic novel. When you should already be proud of liking comics and not have to fancy it up.
He has spoken.
But yeah, I understand the distinction.
I think they're the. I don't know. I would just say
Who
that.
gives a shit?
Yeah, that's the thing I'm saying. Who gives a shit?
Wait, what? That's not what you were saying.
Yeah. Wait.
That's
What?
not what you were saying at all.
It doesn't matter what you call it. You should just, I don't know.
Oh boy!
Frown.
You know what?
You know
Why
what?
don't you go back to your North Korean monster movies? All right, and you get the heck out of here, okay?
All right.
You know why we don't have any viewers? Because of this shit right here.
They are the same thing, but single issues hold more value because they're usually the first printing or the first release or the first appearance. So if you had, let's say you had a the very first graphic novel of the X-Men, you have the graphic novel, which is basically just a reprint years later of what was printed years ago. So the value of a single issue comic book is worth thousands of dollars more than this pretty much reprint of what you have. So they are the same because they're just reproductions of the original story, but they're just compiled into collections. So like for example, the Nightfall series from Batman, that spread amongst all the Bat titles. So you've got Batman, you've got Detective Comics, you've got various other issues involved. So yeah, like I said, in order for you to avoid having to buy all these random issues and read them in a specific order to get the sense of, or get the whole story, pretty much people will just wait until the graphic novel comes out and then read it as a whole, which is convenient, but I don't know. I find more joy in collecting the single issues myself and then reading those. I know it does pose the whole, wait and be patient for the next issue, but I don't know. I find more joy in that. But yes, they pretty much are the same thing. So.
Am I right? Like, it kind of started with Watchmen. Like, before that, it really wasn't like they wanted to fancy it up for Watchmen.
Yeah, I don't recall a collection being put together so well before the Watchmen. And so whenever they say, the movie based on the graphic novel, yeah, it's pretty much just based on a collection of comic books, but the collection
that was
is
always designed, like that series always designed that,
So it's Alan Moore's fault? Is that what you're saying?
everything is Alan Moore's fault.
All right. You guys weren't even born yet when Watchmen came out. Jeez. Hating on it.
No,
I love Watchmen.
I know, yeah. That's what got me into literature. Well, that's what got me into comics. Really.
That's what got you into literature?
Well, if I would say that if I read, but I guess I don't read. So. But that piqued my interest in so many things. I don't know.
You don't consider Alan Moore's work literature, Randall?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Some of the finest storytelling ever.
You think he's the Proust of our times, or the Oscar Wilde of our times, perhaps?
Yes.
Well, not our times. You just said he was before me.
20th century. You were born in the 20th century, weren't you?
I would hold him comparable to Neil Gaiman, probably.
Huh. What do you think, Miguel?
I think that life can be tricky at times, and that we must observe the world as a whole.
Oh, wait. I got a point that I want to make.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to ask you comic book people about this. What do you think...
Hang on. Randall's going to be like, here. And Randall has a point
and Miguel is going to be quiet because I'm talking. And I think I got Jesse's opinion already, but I want to hear Tony's opinion. What do you think of the Attack on Titan Spider-Man crossover?
I've heard of this. Are you asking me?
I said I got Jesse's opinion, and now I wanted Tony.
Well, it seemed like a pretty good ploy to get all those manga geeks onto Marvel's side.
Whoa! That's offensive right there. A2, Tony. A2.
For the comments
it's a way to bring people to maybe they'll be interested in stuff they see in the crossover and then pick up a Spider-Man book,
But this is what makes me mad is that you have because you have a very established history in Spider-Man and with other Marvel characters, that they've been around for decades at the very least. X-Men, Spider-Man, Iron Man, the Hulk, etc. And then you have Attack on Titan, which has been around for 2 years, I want to say, as a manga, maybe a little bit longer, but I'm probably being generous. And the story hasn't even been fleshed out much at all yet. And yet, because of the hype, you're already at the point where they're doing crossovers with Marvel characters. I find that a little crazy. You know, it just seems like I wish they would just continue on with the damn story, and yet, this is getting to more of the point of what's happening as far as Japanese manga and anime and so on is concerned. That they've already started 2 spin-offs from what I've understood, and they haven't even gotten close to wrapping up the story of the main manga yet. And they haven't even gotten close to starting the 2nd season of the anime. I don't know if you guys have watched that.
Mhm.
And it's already like, well, you know, why don't we throw Spider-Man in the mix? You know, screw it. Why not? Let's just see what happens when we have Spider-Man fight the Titan. That's, you know, I don't feel like, that's good. Adrian is supporting me on this. That's good. I like that. Thank you, Adrian. I like that they're doing something like this. I just don't feel like Attack on Titan is the best series that they should have gone with for something like that. Although, frankly, then it turns into the jokes of who would win in a battle, Superman versus Goku.
Is your concern because they haven't finished the actual, because they're doing other stuff before and not focusing on like the main title, or like?
Yeah, because they've kind of left it at a point where you have so many more questions instead of answers in the main series, and they know I don't keep up with it enough to really have a super informed opinion about it. But for them to go and start 2 not spin-offs, but they're prequels basically, because they're telling 2 different stories. One is 70 years in the past compared to the main Attack on Titan storyline, and the other one is telling the childhood story of Captain Levi. What the hell? And
Is this
now they're
all
into
going to be
this.
in manga form or comic book form?
I don't know. That's why I'm kind of wondering if they're going to try to do a stylized comic book version of the series, just to really try to push that crossover home.
Apparently, it's supposed to be digital only. It's not going to be printed, and it's all being done in Japan. So Marvel has pretty much just released rights for their characters to be incorporated into the manga Attack on Titan series. It's not the other way around, where the Titan characters are being introduced to the Marvel universe. So and it's not just Spider-Man. It's Attack on Titan versus the entire Marvel universe. So I'm almost positive the Marvel characters are going to be drawn in the traditional style of manga, which is done before, because Marvel's attempted their manga verse at one point, which failed miserably. But so yeah, it's I don't know. And I'll be honest, my extent, of manga is just Attack on Titan. That's probably the only thing other than Kite that I've watched that consists of manga, and it's only been film. I've never really read a manga title, so.
Yeah, okay, so all right, that makes more sense to me, because I feel like it's a new version of what they did with the Iron Man series when they tried to make that into anime, and the X-Men series when they tried to make that into anime, and to a lesser extent Witchblade, which they really tried to make into anime.
Yeah.
And okay, so then now, then it's all really just for a Japanese audience. They're trying to break even more into the Japanese market by doing so. All right, then it makes more sense. Never mind.
I like it. I like whatever they want to do to get more comic readers.
Yeah, my interest is pretty just simple. Like I said, the only manga I've really ever watched is Attack on Titan. So to take the only manga that I'm really familiar with and enjoyed and combine it with something else that I enjoy, which is the Marvel Universe, it's a win-win for me, but I don't have the perspective, like you do, Randall, with a manga background, so.
Yeah, no, now I didn't know that. I thought it was for everybody. Of course, I'm sure they will still put it online and put some subtitles on it and have it be downloadable or streamable from Japan anyway. But now it makes more sense, because I think Marvel has been trying pretty hard to make some inroads into the Japanese market, kind of like how Microsoft through Xbox as far as video games are concerned, have been trying to make pretty hard inroads with the Japanese, and they just have been completely rebuffed. So I'm wondering if that's what they're trying to do now, is just tie it into a very popular local series and see if people are going to be more like, oh boy, the Hulk and Spider-Man and Iron Man and so on, and not just, oh boy, Titans.
I don't know. Now I'm just researching Godzilla versus Marvel, if that's. It's like. Because that's the way to go. But it looks like they've done that already.
They did?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Well, that reminds me. I don't know. Well, yeah. I guess maybe if you saw it on Twitter, but I posted it on my Instagram. I purchased a huge lot of comic books from this guy, or this kid actually, that was getting rid of his grandpa's old comic books. So I bought 2 huge bins full of comic books for $80, and
damn.
And there was a couple of hidden gems in there, and this was one of them. If you're looking at my...
So sexy. How you doing?
Whoa, Shay, Jesse.
Oh, that's what I'm looking at. Well, I was at the Google Images. Look at that.
So this is your Marvel Godzilla 1, King of Monsters, which is not super rare, but I mean, it's the very first publication of Godzilla in America, which the Marvel grabbed as soon as they could. So I was pretty stoked to find this. The other thing I found was this bad boy, Star Wars 1 by Marvel Comics as well. So yeah, my $80 paid off. I got a couple of cool books hidden at the very bottom of this stack, although most of it was just junk.
Wow.
Oh, now you gave Tony a boner.
Yeah.
And then I got Man-Thing 1, so that was pretty cool.
Do you have any Swamp Thing?
Yeah, there was quite a few Swamp Things in there too.
Do you have the one versus Batman?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh, now he's just at Chubb's.
Womp womp.
Bought that one.
The half gems.
What Swamp Thing do you have?
We can do that later.
Okay.
My wife's. I keep all mine in my room, and my wife's asleep, so.
Uh,
Womp womp.
wah, wah.
Let's wrap up the comic book portion with the stuff I put in the pocket about Spawn.
Oh, yeah, I was interested. I didn't read the article, but I wanted to know more about that because I don't read comic books, but I do like Spawn.
Yeah, so Todd McFarlane apparently is confirmed the reboot of the Spawn film. It was posted on Twitter. It was actually just a link to his Facebook, so if you don't have Facebook, you couldn't watch it. But I did find the video. It's kind of a cheesy little intro into his brief description of what the film is going to be. Apparently, it's not a comic book film. Apparently, it's supposed to be a horror film, which is kind of the whole, premise behind the Spawn character. I mean, he's basically from hell, so it's supposed to be rated R. But other than that, they've only mentioned that the actors or who they obtained for casting is supposed to be Academy Award-winning stars. We don't know who the gentlemen or who the characters are, but some people were kind of claiming it was a joke, but this is like Todd's baby, so I really don't think he would joke around about it. He's been wanting to do it for a while now, so I don't think he would have made a big deal out of it if he didn't really intend on doing it. But apparently it's supposed to be a really low-budget film, so I'm kind of, I don't know, kind of stoked about it, kind of not.
That's like going rated R. Just that alone is pretty risky, I think. I don't know.
And that's what the first cut, the director's cut from the first film was actually rated R, but yeah, he was kind of forced to take it down to a PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see rated R movies, Tony?
I have to go in the basement and hide. And
All right. After you go rent it from Redbox?
Yeah.
All right.
RedTube.
His mom can take him.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well, that's pretty neat.
Tony, does your mom take it to the Redbox?
Otherwise, how am I gonna get there?
He doesn't have his driver's license.
No, everybody, I live alone. I'm an adult.
This adult motherfucker.
Watch all the rated R movies I
Yeah.
want.
I'm an adult. I'm 12.
Funny story about rated R films. My grandmother took me and Miguel in San Angelo. Do you remember the old $1.50 movie theater they had across from the mall?
Hell yeah.
So that was like the theater that got the movies like after like the day they were coming out on DVD. They were going to that theater. So very last minute attempt to get money off of a movie, they would make their way to the $1.50 theater. So my grandmother took me and my brothers to that theater, and I don't think she had a clue what we were going to watch, but she took us to go see American Psycho.
Nice.
She made us leave during the prostitute scene where he's like telling that girl, "Don't just stand there, eat it." So like that was it. Like we had to go. That was funny.
That's a fine piece of American cinema right there. Was Miguel in the back?
Yeah, I heard about
Corner?
there was a lot of like slapping noises and stuff like that.
Man.
But yeah, that was fun. I was looking forward to it. So, but yeah, my little brothers were like 4 or 5 at the time. So yeah.
I didn't realize you had brothers. That's cool.
Yeah, I have 2 younger brothers. And another funny story, my younger brother at that theater cut his finger off.
What?
Yeah, so
Off?
you know how they have his pinky, he has half a pinky. So you know how they have those little like little rails, the little poles that stand up and then they chain the little links on there to kind of like divide lines, etc. The top of the pole has a little like metal ring where you clasp the chain link onto. Well, he was climbing onto that and it fell over and it fell on his pinky and it cut it off.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, they got rid of those afterwards because of my little brother, because he cut his finger off there. They actually sewed it back on, but it didn't stay, so they had to take it back off.
Wow. What kind of medieval device thing is this?
So is your little brother going to turn into the next Patrick Bateman of San Angelo?
Possibly, all because of that. Yeah, it wasn't that same trip to the movies. That would have been
Down.
catastrophic. Yeah.
Patrick Bateman.
Does he use a face mask to help purify his skin? And he does 1,000 crunches?
Yes. Every day.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Mad
Well-
respect for your little brother.
And he eats at Dorsia quite often.
Good. Well,
Oh.
what is the Dorsia of San Angelo?
San Angelo?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is it like the Applebee's or something?
Close. No, there's quite a few nicer restaurants that have popped up. I don't know.
And they just got a new little grocery store over there by the mall. What's it called?
Oh yeah, Green's Grocery. I guess it's like our little mini Whole Foods.
I feel like that's like a Sprouts. Yeah, like a Whole Foods kind of.
Yeah.
So that's the Dorsia of San Angelo.
Yeah, that's what that is.
I only eat at Green's Grocery.
Exactly. It's not the San Angelo's first attempt for healthy eating. We had a store, grocery, cafe style place called Wholesome Foods. But that didn't work out because that was about a decade ago when nobody knew what healthy was. But now this whole gluten-free craze and fat-free whatever. So I guess they San Angelo tried to is trying it again. So it seems to be working. A lot of people seem to. I haven't been there. My kids have gone there. Weird, but my kids have gone with my mother, but I haven't been there yet.
Hey, Tony and Randall, have y'all heard of a place called the Angry Cactus? This restaurant? Y'all ever seen?
Can I have some context, please?
I mean, apparently it's a chain, and they're trying to open one up in San Angelo, and there's this big big ordeal with the way the shape of the sign. It had a phallic shape to it, and so he had to downplay it a little bit.
Really?
And this whole
'Cause I've heard of the iron cactus, but I never heard of the angry cactus.
yeah, it was an anger cactus. I had never heard of that chain before, so
It was just a big prickly penis, or what?
yeah, it looks like a big dick. I mean, that's what with spikes coming out of it.
Nice.
Oh,
A veiny, triumphant bastard.
There you go. A little weird, but anyways.
I'm surprised we have a Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the same thing. I mean, San Angelo, for you guys that don't know, I mean, is very conservative, and for them to have a Twin Peaks, I mean, there was a lot of citizens against bringing Twin Peaks in because of it's so conservative, but you know.
My
What the heck
stepmother
is-
told me, oh, Twin Peaks is like a Hooters, but like a more casual, like.
Oh, I thought it was you're having your own personal David Lynch series going on in San Angelo.
No.
I was like, all right.
Exactly.
say-
That'd be cool.
How do you say Twin Peaks in Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Exactly.
Instead of tiny orange shorts and a tight white shirt, they wear like lumberjack, like kind of bra look. I don't know. Actually, their wardrobe like alternates depending on. They have like themes and stuff. Like sometimes they do like lingerie and I don't know.
Oh, so you go there a lot.
Honestly, yes. To be honest, my dad came into town once and he was like stoked. Oh, you're going to Twin Peaks. So we went and we took my wife and my kids. And ever since then, my oldest 5-year-old loves it, and she asked to go there all the time. I don't know why. I think it's because like the TVs, the massive amount of TVs. But
Potential future career right there.
but yeah, she loves Twin Peaks. That's funny though. But
Place looks. I've never been able to go in there. Laura won't go with me, but I hear that the beer is super cold.
yeah, that I could speak for. Yeah.
Laura, how do you say Twin Peaks in Spanish? Twin Peaks in Spanish, huh? Himalayas. That's not right.
Himalayas.
Twin mountains. Twin. Dos
yeah.
mesas.
Dos mesas. Oh, wonderful.
Mesas.
There you go. A David Lynch production.
Sit over here. Say it. You say it. Say it.
Oh boy, DV at home.
Oh, God.
Montañas gemelas.
Get out of here. I don't know what you're saying. What? Oh, you can't say that? Damn. Whatever. She's gangster.
My stepmother told me that the only reason why we have a Twin Peaks is because the city council did not do their research on it. So with the name as vague as Twin Peaks, they had no idea what they were pretty much allowing. So had they done the research, we probably wouldn't have one.
I could see that as well. But I mean, there was a lot of like forums going on of people voting against it. I mean, I did see that before they even brought it.
Yeah.
So,
Wait,
that was
they were voting against it, or they're just like, oh, I hate that place, but you know, if it came here, I would go.
I don't know. It was like on the forums they were holding polls, and a lot of conservative individuals were just against bringing a place like that there.
There's a San Angelo Forum.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
you know, there's this other one, San Angelo Live, and they act a lot like the TMZ of San Angelo. Just you probably don't notice, Jesse, because you don't have Facebook, but I'm following them on Facebook, and yeah, anytime there's like a car wreck or any type of burglary or really any crime, they're definitely on that. They take these high-def photos and they post them on Facebook. Yeah,
My
man.
wife has it, so she's always quick to share, and it's always something very mild, like you just said, like a car accident. Like, oh my god, like how
It's like
horrible. I mean,
shit,
Oh
it
my
just
God.
got real.
yeah, it's like, oh my god, somebody wrecked in front of Sonic, and you know, you have to go around the back. Like, it's like that's like the severity of it.
but they make it look very
Wow.
dramatic with their like high-def photos and stuff like that.
Yes. It's a bunch of college kids. It's a bunch of kids at ASU in photojournalism that are. This is like their career now.
That's really funny, but as Tony would know, that sounds really Valley.
Okay. Yeah.
Good God, that's just. Oh my God, something happened. Oh wait, it was a car breaking down. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Let's see that. No.
Get to the chopper!
Jeez.
Hey, so I know I had put in the pocket to talk about creationism and some evolution and stuff like that. And what brought that to my attention was this group held a creation summit over at Michigan State University, and I was just kind of following them on blogs and stuff like that, going back and forth. And a lot of the scientists there that this summit was targeting were basically telling other scientists and stuff like that to just ignore it and don't even bother challenging it, because I think this debate has become this thing ever since Bill Nye versus Ken Ham. I don't know. Did y'all watch that Bill Nye and Ken Ham go at it?
Yeah.
I watched half of it today.
Why would I waste my time?
It's still
Obviously,
an
Ken Ham is totally correct. So
Obviously.
Wait, is this really how you we might need to adjust the permanent members of this podcast. So.
Is this how you feel?
I didn't screen Randall. I'm gonna write this down, along with that Patrick guy. I'm gonna Google later.
I think Randall's expressed his views before.
yeah, let me tell you something. I may be a creationist, but let me tell you something about comics. How dare they invade my anime?
How dare they invade my anime? That's a song, dude. I'm writing that down.
Just like scientists are trying to invade the Bible,
Yep.
Marvel's invading your anime.
We had a pure, pristine world, and then suddenly all these mutants arrived, and I was like, how dare you?
How dare they invade my anime? And that's when the bass drops right there. I'm gonna write this.
Drop the bass.
Drop. But anyways, as it turns out, I was reading this article about how they were offering a free iPad if you came to the summit, the Creation Summit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Raffle. You want to, and then
Is it locked to only read the Bible when you use the thing?
That'd be funny. Overall, I think about only 100 students ended up going to this summit and listening to the speeches and the talks that were given. And then one of the science students there, he was some type of biology grad student, ended up winning the iPad. He's like, "Hey, I got a free iPad. Nice."
Oh, wait a minute. They only gave one iPad?
Yeah, one iPad.
Oh, screw that crap. That sucks.
Yeah, you made it seem like everybody that went got one.
Yeah.
Oh no! They raffled one iPad at the very end.
Oh, that sucks. Screw that. Freaking cheap asses.
Was it the one you had to be present to win? Cause
Yeah, it's just yeah.
At the very end, they're just like, okay,
They're going
let's
through
make a
numbers.
raffle, and then we just applauds and goes crazy.
yeah, I would have just signed in and left.
So I started digging around more about creationism and evolution to see what's in the topics these days, and ran across like Pope Francis okaying evolution and the Big Bang Theory. Basically, saying
Pope Francis, man.
Pope Francis likes that show?
God isn't a magician. God wasn't a magician, just waving a wand around, creating the world and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty interesting too when I saw that.
Does the Pope said that, or what?
Yeah, Pope Francis.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, it provides. I can actually read the line here, so I don't fuck it up.
Basically, the best pope.
Yeah.
When we read about creation in Genesis, we run the risk of imagining God was a magician with a magic wand able to do everything, but that is not so. He created human beings and let them develop according to the internal laws that he gave to each one so they would reach their fulfillment. That is Pope Francis.
So it's intelligent design then.
Of some sort. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, do you believe in intelligent design, Randall?
No, look at how stupid we are. Do you really believe in intelligent design?
Where's my sound effect? I gotta go. I go pad up again.
Oh boy, slacking on the job.
I'm just saying. I mean, to some degree, you don't think intelligent design was put in there? I mean, as our starting point. And there's still a lot of, and I know some of my biology colleagues would definitely challenge me and probably hit
Oh
me.
boy, a
Punch
certain
me.
unnamed man.
But I mean, if we think back to as we take it, Darwinism and evolution. I mean, we only can go back so far before we're just saying it's just a bunch of amino acids and proteins and other chemicals being thrown into soup, and we get the first amino acids that start to develop, and then we start get unicellular and multicellular, and then more complex organisms that develop from then. And or 400 million years later, here we are. But,
Well, I'm trying to be very skeptical about the whole thing. I take the Humean, if you ever heard of David Hume, position about with regards to cause and effect, that it's really a lot of everything is just left up to chance. And given that in a different possible world you would have something completely different, I don't know what that would be, because we may not even be able to conceptualize what it is, although maybe we'd see it on another world one day. I'm trying to be pretty open-minded in that regard, as far as like a bunch of crap jumbled together and hey, humanity came out of it.
and that's exactly what how I was taught at the beginning of evolution. It's just like the theory goes, it's just a hot soup and you get amino acids kind of thing. And so then you got the argument that at what point, I mean, is it? I mean, if you believe that, then it is to some degree that you can believe that there was some form of intelligent design that may have been intervened at one point or something like that. That as your starting point of developing.
I think you may have to already be sympathetic to that view in order to go ahead and believe it, because then, in contrast, you can just believe that things literally, and like I said, I'm taking the same Humean position on this. Things literally just ended up that way via the way things turned out. Be it or even without any kind of influence from, say, God, or I don't know, ridiculously advanced space aliens or whatever. But I mean, I'm just trying to be. I'm very hopeful for science in this day and age, and I hope that we would find out more about this later on, because you never know. It may be something that's completely friggin' different, like it was Cthulhu who did all this, and then he's going to screw us over in about another 10 years or something. Who knows?
Let me ask you something. If Ken Ham went up against the Pope in a fist fight, who would win?
Pope.
Oh,
Now, what about Pope versus Batman? Who wins there?
Oh, well, the Pope used to be a bouncer, so
Like he set up those bouncy houses?
no, he used to be a bouncer at a bar.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
For the
This
rails.
Pope gets cooler by every day. What the hell?
So, good old Ken Ham has some statements for the Pope and his statements that he made. Basically disagreeing them. Let me see, in this article it says, Ham agreed that God is not a magician, but said that Francis has accepted man's word above God's word by supporting a view that does not align with literal interpretation of Genesis. Literal interpretation. And man, I run into a lot of friends like that too, though.
So God is not a magician; he is just a warlock. There you go.
That if God was one of us. What's that song? What's that song I'm singing right now? What if God was one of us?
Just a slob like one of us.
So, along with that, because I like Ken Ham so much that he also has stated that aliens would be going to hell, given that they are not of this world and not direct descendants of Adam. And
He's got to cover all his bases. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
like, therefore, aliens are going to hell. And I'm like, whoa, man, that's That's
What if the aliens are angels?
What if they're listening to you right now? Oh, okay. That's
True.
I didn't even think about
What
that.
what if they come down and they're like, we are the angels descended from heaven. We also believe in the teachings of God and Jesus Christ. And then Ken Ham just basically sacrificed them to hell.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much like the book of. I mean, if you've read Ezekiel, that's what man's interpretation of what angels were. I mean, the way he described them were pretty much aliens coming down in chariots of fire and the wings and the eyes, etc. So it's very.
Oh,
I mean, the most literary interpretations of what referred to as an angels in the Bible, the only I guess reasonable explanation is yes, they were extraterrestrials, not in fact aliens. So yeah, but I mean you're right. What if what we
oh,
refer to as angels are in fact the aliens?
they're not all handsome white men with swords of fire coming down
Exactly.
to tell us what to do. That's why I listen to the white man. I never know when they might actually be an angel. Oh.
Maybe. There's let me see. This other one I put in the pocket. Creationist Ken Ham says aliens will go to hell, so let's stop looking for them. And then I like how it put all these points on here. In 1951, novelty song jazz legend Ella Fitzgerald tells the story of a pair of aliens who come down to Earth, take a look around, and decide this planet sucks, then flies away. Can't.
And thus is the beginning of Fallout 3.
And can't it says can't say we blame them. If Mad Men has taught us anything, it's that the 50s were really racist.
Yep. But that's a funny thing. Like, as a true evangelist, wouldn't you want to go tell the aliens, hey, you're going to hell, but we're going to be able to convert you and provide you with salvation? Who does Ken Ham think he is as an agent of God, just a man, going and consigning a whole species to hell before he even tries to provide them salvation? What a bigot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's pretty ignorant to shut off, let's stop looking for them when, like, that's such a, I don't know, I feel like that's a big goal for the human race to expand throughout the galaxy.
Yeah, human supremacy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God is good. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What if God was one of
This song
us?
just makes me think right now.
Just a slob like one of us.
Hope that's not copyrighted.
No, it's not. It's on YouTube.
All right, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2 sources over, so it's untraceable.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
how many listeners do we have right now, by the way?
It looks like we're sitting at 5.
Yes,
Nice.
we're making it.
Hello.
Thank you, everyone.
My people.
But nobody wants to tweet us right now, by the way.
So, what if God was one of us?
What if God
We
was Tony?
are from God, so we are all.
into fucking comic books?
What if God was Tony and he's just there playing with some Godzilla toys and he's like, you need to figure out your own problems.
We're,
We'd kill God if he was one of us, like we did the last time he was.
oh yeah.
Oh snap! Oh snap! We know who the leader of that mob would be then.
Jesse's dropping bombs. That's all that is. I didn't even
Is
think
it-
about
Are they bombs over Baghdad?
No. Oh, look. That's it. You like that one? That combination?
That's new.
And that is. I mean, I think we definitely would just murder him again. If God was one of us. Crazy. Now, how do you feel about intelligent design and creationism being taught alongside with evolution in schools? You know, and Jesse, I want to defer to you. I mean, what if your daughter is being taught, all 3 of these in conjunction with one another?
I think it would be beneficial just for her to provide her own interpretation of what she's learning. I mean, it's kind of like math. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to determine something or come up with an answer as long as you get the answer. So I don't know how long, how long ago you went to school, or but nowadays the teachers aren't really checking the answers or checking, the work that you put in to get the answer. So I think there's different ways to interpret, or interpret creationism as opposed to evolution. But I mean, when it comes down to it, it's our own opinions, what we choose to believe, and we all come from different backgrounds, ethnicities, and religious beliefs. So if you want to choose to believe in, I think if you want the ability to truly believe in creationism, you have to be exposed to the idea of creationism and to understand it for you to rule it out. I don't think you should make a decision based on how you were brought up or what you were told to believe. You should be able to make your own decision, so I would encourage my child to do the same, but they need to do their homework on the opposition to be able to make a valid decision.
No,
But
I
how
don't.
would you present that if you're like, okay, facts and then
Yeah,
not facts, you know?
I was going to ask, like, you are dissecting a pig. What organ do you find around the stomach area? And then you put down, well, God said, da, 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 da.
Yeah, well, there's two different approaches there. So I mean, it's like being aware of what creationism is and being aware of what intelligent design is, but then also knowing the difference between scientific theories and non-scientific theories.
So it's philosophy.
We got to make the distinction there, because if you're teaching intelligent design and creationism as scientific theories, I think that's where some of the controversy comes from, and that's where it's like, well, let me try to state to you that, or prove to you where Canada is in reference to the United States. And it just becomes like this kind of thing. Well, is it there? Is it not? Well, we know for a fact that Canada is above the United States. I was like, well, is it? I mean, God tells me that it isn't. So
How's it above the United States? You mean
Floating?
it's north of the
They're
United
floating
States?
above us?
fuck you. Know what I meant.
Canadian overlords and
Here's our resident creationist here, believing Canada is a floating fortress.
Go fuck yourself. Okay, I'll stop.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is my podcast. I can say what I want. Whatever. Okay. I'll stop.
And special guest Lauda.
What? You didn't say anything bad. What did you say?
Run my life. Apparently, I'm dropping too many f-bombs. I'm talking about God. I don't know.
Fudge.
We're talking about
Fiddlestick.
fudge over here. We're talking about fudge. Stop doing that. Anyways, so I mean, yeah. In England and in Wales, they have actually made it or banned creationism and so I'm trying to get back in my thinking. Creationism and intelligent design is being taught as scientific theories. I think that goes along with what they're trying to do up in Oklahoma, try to remove it from different textbooks, biology textbooks and stuff like that. When I took an evolution course in my undergrad, we were taught everything, and the way my professor approached it was, I'm not telling you to agree with this, and I'm not saying I necessarily agree with all this, but I'm presenting to you everything that is being proposed as a theory of evolution. So
In accordance with Texas educational standards.
I mean, yeah, but
or
I mean,
lack thereof.
he taught about intelligent design, he taught about creationism, and he taught about evolution. He emphasized evolution a lot more throughout the semester, yeah, but I was made aware of those other two things. And honestly, that was the first time I got introduced into those two other theories of evolution outside of... that was the first time I had been introduced to that. Because I was in college. I mean, in high school, I never learned about that stuff and stuff like that. I feel like I was really naive until I reached this level. I mean, if I had not gone to college, I probably would not have a better, the broad understanding of that. I mean, that's for me, my own perspective. So, I mean, presenting that in high school would at least have given me a better perspective of that, and would have at least, like you said, Jesse. I agree. It should be some form of be introduced into high school in some type of curriculum, so that you are able to make your own decisions and made aware of what it is, so that you don't look like me, like a big asshole when you get to college.
And we did
Wait,
have the option because, sorry, I actually took a religious education class in school as an elective. So at the same time I was, going to science and biology and chemistry, I was also had incorporated an elective class, which was religious education. It was only like 7 students in there, including me. So, but yeah, I mean, it was a fresh perspective, leaving one class and learning one thing and going to another and being told something completely different, but along the same topic. So, I mean, I like that idea. If it could be introduced at a much younger age, which I don't, like I said, I would still assume the classes would be very small. But I mean,
Well,
I guess, I don't know.
there you go, Jesse. Be the catalyst. Do it, man.
No, that makes sense, and I totally agree with that. I feel like here's the information, do what you want with it, and I mean, and that's kind of what the approach I take on religion as well. Or spirituality, as you'll take it. Tony, when's the first time you heard about like evolution, intelligent design, and creationism?
Within the first Godzilla movie?
I guess high school. I honestly can't picture the picture of the class. I imagine we have a book. They must have had that.
Yeah, I remember being in my IP. It was integrated physics and chemistry, and the teacher mentioned evolution. And the school I went to was predominantly white Baptist kids, and here I am, Mexican Catholic, and so I remember those kids just getting really uneasy about it and kind of like whispering to each other, "This is evolution. We're not supposed to believe in this. We're supposed to believe that God made the world. It wasn't just made." And I was just like so confused and out of the loop of what was going on. And I remember asking my parents, and they're just like, "Well, it always went back to, when I talked to my priest about it, and when I talked to my parents, it always went back to, well, think of Genesis as a poem, and think of it as, for God it's one day, but for you it could be 1,000,000 years." And I was just like, okay, so it became this thing of like poetry that you're actually reading and stuff like that.
Yeah, you asked him about that?
But that's not what creationism or creationists believe. They interpret the day as 24 hours. They do not think he took longer than 6 days, to make the Earth, which is ridiculous. But
right,
I mean,
they have the exact date of when they said the world came in. And I actually worked with a girl that was a creationist, and she said like, well, here's a tree that was made there. This was put here. This was put here. I was like, well, what makes you think that the world didn't start yesterday? I mean, it becomes this thing of like the Matrix, because it's like, did time start right now? How would you know? Because you were just created and made to believe. You know what I mean? I mean, that's exactly what
many years later, you were married.
I just find it strange that we're still at that point where, I mean, it's a good topic. It's a good debatable topic, but we're still at the point where we're still arguing about it, and still instead of finding common ground where we can't, even if you are an atheist or an agnostic, you can't come to some conclusion that there's a point where both creationism and evolution can coexist, which obviously the Pope has expressed that he very much well believes so. So I wouldn't call myself a devout Christian, but I mean, I go to church, but I am able to incorporate both. I acknowledge that evolution is obvious. There's scientific data and proof to prove that it has and is still occurring. So I just find it odd that Christians, educated Christians, still cannot grasp that, or provide, or understand that they can coexist. God can create evolutionary timeline. So
Jesse, when you go to church, do you sneak a comic book in the Bible and you just sit there and read it? And then your wife is like, "Stop it."
Jesse, it's interesting you bring that up, because I mean, I was the same way, and that's kind of what drove me away from the church, was the lack of almost like the lack of wanting to understand what things outside of
Hello.
Hello. And now we know what Google thinks of this topic.
What? Oh. Signs of God. We all got cut off
1-2. Seems like the server crashed.
by the Lord.
There you go. We now because of all 5 views.
Server crashed here. Hey, can you guys hear me? Let me
Yeah.
know when you can hear me. The server.
We are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
I'm
Hey.
asking one of our watchers if they're still able to watch.
My check 1-2 1-2. Can anybody hear me?
I
Yes.
heard you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on my screen it said the server crashed. So,
Yeah, mine too.
okay. So I guess we're back here. Just thinking back. Okay, right before that, I was saying, Jesse, like it was this narrow-minded approach to, how things. If it wasn't in the Bible, or if the priest didn't say it was true, and the Pope didn't say it was true, then it wasn't true. And that's how my parents believed. That's how my grandparents believed, and that's how a lot of people in the church that I went to believed.
Mhm.
And this is one of the first times, like, since I moved so far away from the church, that with this new pope following him and his understanding and his willingness to just, with homosexuals and now evolution and bringing in these things, I'm like, finally, someone that's like, kind of almost like bringing Catholicism to the 21st century, and it's like, guys.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Catholicism is gonna, with a progressive pope, you're gonna see a very strong progressive movement for change. Even though perhaps there are elements who oppose him, both say at the local diocese and more at the archbishopric level. But it's good that you have somebody in there that's doing that kind of thing, because you could have somebody like the last guy who was just kind of like, nope, nothing's changing. Shit's the same. Better get used to it.
I bring this up a lot, but the series Cosmos. I don't know how you could watch that and not just have this immense adulation for these great minds that just got us where we are today, and the ability to question and to research or to measure is, you can still be a Christian but still appreciate the magnificence in measuring the world we live in, and and I think every high school, I guess, would be a good time for that. Should be playing Cosmos in their science classrooms.
I'm pretty sure they will.
Right?
Yeah.
That does have a very strong, pro-science, anti creationist message.
Something trivial to think about is like 4.6 billion years, given that you do believe in that the world is 4.6 billion years old. I know Randall thinks it's only 24 hours old. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Pretty much.
To think that we are the pinnacle of evolution. This is us. This is us right now. The ability to sit here and talk about.
Isn't that sad? Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
That when God had the building blocks, He was like, you know what? When 4 assholes get together on a podcast and talk about the shit that I did, I think I finally made it.
He's just sitting back right now, drinking a beer. He's like, I did it.
He's like, I'm done. Job well done, everybody.
We did it. This is it. We did it.
Well, evolution is based on our surroundings, so I don't think our surroundings are done, evolving, so therefore we haven't. So I think technology is what's going to push us into our next evolutionary stage. I mean, everybody's predicting, I think we've talked about on a previous episode, this big artificial intelligence boom or technology takeover, robots pretty much, Age of Ultron, whatever. So I think that is probably what's going to push us into our next evolutionary stage.
I could see that. And, along with that, it's, oh, hell. I just lost my train of thought. Wow.
Well, there you go. Evolution at work, everybody.
We've pretty much
You
worked our
are
way.
pinnacle.
We've pretty much worked our way through all the natural disasters. I really don't see anything, planetary or coming our way that we'd have to evolve to, survive. So it would have to be something, I think, man-made, which the only thing I can think of is technology. So,
or
I think,
even warming on itself, though. I mean, when
but
people
we're doing that, so it's still a man-made,
right, and there's there's 2 points here that I was wanting to talk about, because one, it's that people think that global warming is something that will destroy the Earth, and in reality, it's something that's going to destroy mankind. The Earth is going to be fine. The Earth is a closed system, and it's always been fine. We're just on this spaceship, this earthly spaceship whirling through space at whatever speed, and over time,
Hashtag
reset button.
Interstellar.
and the reset button is just going to reset, and for the sake of mankind and preserving our existence is the reason why we should be concerned about CO2 and the greenhouse gases and whatnot. But that's aside of that. I have been asked, why are we not evolving now? And that's another thing that there's a lot of individuals out there that do not understand how evolution works, and even Darwinism. Then and the length of time it takes. 4.6 billion years, and we're here, and so you're not gonna see this over our lifetime. You're probably not gonna see any evolution. The you would see is like the flu, and that's the very you get a different flu vaccine every year. Hey, yes, Randall.
Dude, if you think that the world started in 6 days, then of course you're going to think that evolution starts in 1.
I could see that. Yeah.
I'm not trying to rag on those people, but I mean, if you think things happen quickly, then to think about it, you should do it. You should do it as a comparison like this. Don't think about things in human time. Think about it in terms of geologic time.
Yeah, and that's exactly what people need to understand. It's them not being able to interpret that I think pushes people to believe in things like creationism and intelligent design.
And that, I think, shows the short-term worldview that comes from being someone who's going to live at most around 100 years, let's say. So, you can't fathom things that happen thousands of years in the future. Things. I mean,
my mind. Who said we are either all alone in this universe or we are not? Remember that? That saying, right? You've seen it. Either way.
Your mama.
Either way. Either truth is utterly terrifying, or something like that.
Yeah. It might have been Kurzweil.
Yeah, it's probably Kurzweil.
I like that saying. It really makes you think. I mean, it's true. It's either one or the other. We're either alone or we're not.
It's Cthulhu. He's out there. He's waiting for us.
Hi.
That guy too.
Arthur C. Clarke.
I have to admit, the only times I doubt my faith is when I talk to Miguel.
Isn't that messed up? It's because he's the Antichrist.
No, I'm not the Antichrist. I'm sorry. I just fucking think too much. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's good because
Very good.
my conversations with Miguel are the only times I really do press myself to think outside the box. So
then your faith becomes stronger, and then you can repel the Antichrist, and you tell him, "Be gone, demon!" You burn him with holy water.
I'm pitiful!
He's the only person I can have an intelligent conversation without yelling at each other. And although we have pretty similar beliefs, we also have the ability to denounce those or question those beliefs at the same time. But so.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, I think that's very important to
Circle jerk.
be able to
Circle
question yourself.
And that's what kept me the Christian that I was in my teenage years. I went to Catholic school. I went to religious education to the point where I was a religious educator. So I was teaching Bible study, Sunday class, 7 days a week, whatever. So I was at the church nonstop. And then after high school, when I graduated, I had this just big epiphany, and I was just like, this is dumb, So I just started I did what I was avoiding doing my teenage years, which was questioning it. So yeah, I started asking questions, and I wasn't getting the answers I wanted, and then shit started happening, and so I was just like, this is not for me. So I was a huge atheist, like for a good 5-6 years.
I remember you. And I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, but it's
Oh
kind
boy,
of
here we go.
turned into you started going into the vegetarian, vegan.
San Angelo live here.
And when you
So
went into that, I remember tying basically if God could sacrifice a lamb, it's kind of like that. I don't know. I remember you. This was on MySpace.
my diet, coincidentally, it was the same time where I approached veganism and atheism around the same time, and they both helped me or they both credit each other for going that path. But yeah, that was pretty much my point. I didn't believe this being, this higher power that created everything, made it okay for us to treat animals and kill animals and eat the animals in the way that we did. So my desire to stop eating meat was also my desire to stop believing in God, if there was a God that would allow such a thing. So
damn, dude, you're almost at the trifecta there.
There it is.
And in a sense, I still believe it. I mean, I still don't think, I don't agree with that. So I still don't eat animals, but I do go back to church. But just like Christians, they get to pick and choose what they want to believe. So I have my own, sense of Christianity or Catholicism that, I pretty much did what, Catholics did, is they picked and choose what part of the books they wanted to include, and that's what they teach. So I've done the same thing, and that's my own belief system. So I don't believe.
I think you are even more spiritual for doing something like that, and that's the same approach I take, and that's the same approach many of the people that are religious and that I how do I put this? I respect that are religious because they've taken on their own personal individual relationship with, in quotes with my fingers, God, and I think that's more respectful like that because, I mean, you are questioning, and then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that pushes you even closer to whatever relationship you're building towards your God, creator, whatever, engineer.
Oh boy. we got a bias going on here. That's two now. What about you, Tony?
Prometheus.
Come on, Tony. You got to be our guy. You got to be our religious guy here.
Want some background music?
I'm. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right. Wait. You're asking me my own beliefs?
Yeah. Tony, what the fuck do you think we're talking about here?
Oh.
Godzilla?
Do you guys want to hear what I gotta say?
No, I like what Jesse's saying about finding your pick and choose, because whatever what you said, that your own personal relationship, that to me it's kind of a real personal thing. I don't go out telling people about it, and but I still pray, and I might not go to church when I'm not with family, because I don't know, I don't go alone, but I don't know what that says, but still feel I still feel in my life it helps to have something to,
Basically, you gotta have something to believe in.
yeah.
You got to have your anchor.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to have your rock.
Yeah, I find myself kind of going in around that, and I don't know, like toying around there, and not really having that anchor there. And I totally understand what you're saying. I mean, it's like if you don't believe in anything, you'll believe everything. I don't know what I'm trying to say there.
There you go, and smoke weed every day, folks. And that's Empty Rant, everybody.
Smoke weed every day.
When I was on my atheist rants, a friend of mine, I don't know if you know him, Miguel, but Travis Gonzalez, he had his little atheistic episode for a little while too, but
I'm gonna have to bleep out my name, but yeah, go ahead.
He was big into philosophy, so we had a couple of talks about Aristotle and Pythagoras and etc.
Oh boy!
And then he brought up the whole, when he converted back to Christianity, and I was considering doing the same. He told me, it doesn't hurt for you to believe in a God if there ended up not being a God, but it would if you didn't believe in a God and there ended up being a God.
See,
So
dude,
it's
and I mean, with
Man,
all
that's a Pascal's wager bullshit right there. Come on.
yeah, and
really?
it's almost like by default, and I feel like that's what most Christians are doing these days. So they're not believing because they choose
For the
to,
right
but
reason.
because
it's my
yeah.
safety. I'm gonna believe just in case. Just in case.
And that's the same way I feel about church. I don't feel like church is what it used to be. I feel like it's like, hey everybody, I'm here, look at me. I personally don't receive the Eucharist because me and my wife are married, but not through the church. So, but there's people that do receive the Eucharist, but don't acknowledge the confessional part of the Eucharist, that you should receive Eucharist without sin. So. There's a lot of people, that, like I said, that pick and choose their parts of Catholicism they want to believe, and that's one of the biggest ones. A lot of people don't go to confession because they don't feel like they should have to confess their sins to a priest, which to a certain extent I agree, but, when it comes to the Eucharist, that's pretty much one of the rules, but I don't know. I feel like that's what church has evolved into. Is it's more of a fashion show or a meet and greet or something.
Yeah, and when I found myself like going to church and being like, I found myself in this weird mind frame of almost like, I hope I get to see this person or interact with this person today, and I get
same here.
Was it Jesus?
Yeah, exactly. He's the last on your list.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, it was like the clergy. I was like, I hope. I don't know. It became this like high school setting. I don't know. Put it as
Prom.
like
Oh boy. I don't want to run into that bully Jesus while I'm at the church.
a popularity contest.
He ruins my day.
I don't know. But
He's gonna be there in the background with a leather jacket on. He's gonna be like, "So Miguel, you confessed lately? I haven't seen you in the confession booth lately, and I'm getting kind of pissed."
one time I went to a search. I don't know if Tony and Randall know what search is. It's basically like a retreat. Catholic retreat. Anyways, I remember being in the church and basically I was praying. It was just part of you're just supposed to like start meditating and praying. And I remember this dream very vividly because I started nodding off and I fell asleep, and the instrumental music was playing. So think like Explosions in the Sky music in the background. And just like listening to this music, and I find myself on this field, and I see Jesus like running towards me, and I'm like, hey, Jesus, I'm gonna run towards this guy, and so we start running towards him. We start running, and right when we're about to like hug, somebody like punches my shoulder and wakes me up. I was like, dude, I was about to hug Jesus. What the fuck, man?
And was it Satan?
Satan woke you up.
Satan, like, you're going to hell.
It was just like, hey, wake up. And I was like, oh.
Was Jesus nude in your dream?
No, he was wearing the robe.
Oh, okay.
Of course. What else?
I just want to make sure he's not like a real well-built Jesus that is nude.
I dreamed so well, though.
That's crazy.
That's
time-
kinda homoerotic.
One time I fell asleep at church, and it was in the tabernacle, which they held the Eucharist, and apparently we had just had some Frito pie, so I had the BGs, and upon falling asleep, apparently everybody says I farted while everybody is meditating.
So a similar experience. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Flagellant, so I don't remember it. Apparently it wasn't strong enough to wake me up because I just slept through it, so.
There you go.
I still deny it, but yeah, whatever.
That's why you gave up meat right there. You didn't want to fart anymore. You don't want those greasy farts anymore, bro.
I thought
Yeah.
you get real bad farts when you're a vegetarian. All
What'd
that
you do?
soy.
Yeah, lots of green vegetables. Yeah, I have the worst gas.
What? I'm on this
See?
juicing kick, and yeah, whenever I down those shakes, definitely get some good gas going.
Yeah, I'm always farting at work, but luckily I don't sit around a lot of people, so
Are you sure they don't want to sit around you?
yeah, I never thought about that.
There you go.
You know I'm farting in my office whenever I turn on the fan.
Yeah?
Like, it's cold. Why do you have the fan on? Oh, well, it's because I'm farting.
What does the fan do? It just blows your fart everywhere.
He's
Hey.
spreading the love.
Dissipates it and makes it, not
He's
as
crop dusting.
not as
Dusting. I do that on the way to the bathroom because it's like a mile away from my desk. So yeah, the whole way there. I fart past your sister's desk, Miko.
So this is actually Tony and I's. Tomorrow will be our last day that we work in the same building. I'm moving downtown, and he's still going to be in the same office, so we're no longer.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Well, it was good to know you, Tony. Thank you for participating in the podcast.
I will now drop off.
But what you
Relax.
understand is that this is the very reason we designed the podcast was for this.
Yeah.
That we're gonna dump him?
Would fall apart.
Tony, I opened up your link. What the fuck, man?
What?
How do you even find a page like this? And
Don't
Was
worry
it
about it.
Tub Girl?
backhill bullshit. Anyways. Alright. You know what time it is, Tony?
What time is it, Miguel?
That time again where we play. Is it bad acting? Or is it just a porn? Ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay, well, given that Tony submitted this clip in earlier, and how he found this page, I don't know. But it's pretty awesome.
Don't ask. It's pretty awful, yeah.
It's pretty awesome, though. There's a lot of cool things on here.
Don't look. Don't click. All right.
Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna play this clip for you, and we'll have a competition between Randall and Jesse. Oh, goodness.
Wait. You can't. We just gave it away, though.
Nobody gave anything away.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
All right, you guys ready for this?
Shoot.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
I see them! They over there! They're gaining on us.
So, any guesses so far? How about you, Jesse?
I'm not supposed to guess the movie, right? Just whether it's a porn or a bad acting.
If you want to guess this movie, that'd be awesome too. Yeah, go ahead. But no, we're just debating whether it's bad acting or a porn, bro.
I'd have to say bad acting, unless it's like a porn parody where it's supposed to make it seem like a movie. But now let's stick with bad acting.
Randall, any initial guesses?
I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but I'm gonna go with bad acting also.
Okay, terrific. I'm gonna keep playing this clip here. Let's see.
Oh, I've been hit! Don't move. Oh, let me have a look at it.
All right. Anything change? No. I'm gonna play some more.
Fuck. Can you stand? I'll try. Help me up. Wait. Oh, I can't go on. I can't walk with this thing up my butt. Oh, you can do it. You have to. Oh, you gotta go. You gotta go without me. Go. No, I want to leave you. No. No, you have to. Go. Save yourself. Go. Go. I'll come back.
Okay, Jesse, are you still staying with the guess that it's bad acting, or are you wanting to switch over to porn?
I'll stay.
Okay, Randall.
And you know what's funny? We had a nice long conversation about God and our faith, and the Google servers crash. And here we are playing what I'm now going to say is porn, and everything's kosher.
Yeah.
So.
Welcome to it.
Oh, God, I'm hit! Oh, I've been hit!
Yeah, so this is a ridiculously filthy porno site that Tony sent me to. And while I'm playing this clip, mind you, there are a crazy amount of pop-ups within the window that are just playing disgusting things for me right now. Apparently, camplace.com, 100 of horny girls live on cam. Then there's a free sign-up. Oh, terrific.
Hashtag Tony loves porn.
Let's see, I can go to a live cam right now. Join me in a private session. Chat with me.
Hey,
oh, wow. That's
Do they want to be our 5th person in the podcast?
Would y'all like to talk to us? Yeah, I'm clicking out of that.
Don't click things.
Well, no, I turned off my virus protection so that my computer wouldn't crash again, and now I'm like, I didn't know.
Now you're regretting it.
Oh my god!
So what's happening in that clip?
Okay, so what's happening? There was a hunter, and he was using a bow and arrow, and the tip of the arrow was actually an enormously large dildo. And upon firing the dildo, he hit his target right on target, actually, and it was her butthole. So she fell to the ground.
Nice.
And then she no longer walked because she had a large dildo in her butt.
That's awesome.
This has been porn or bad acting?
This is how Tony does it.
Tony, how do you porn? Oh, that was actually a good one, bro. Like,
that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I was like
good.
closing my eyes, listening to it, and I was like, oh man, this is actually a horrible movie.
Yeah.
She's like, no, go on without me. It's pretty odd.
No, go on without me. Well, cool, man. Yeah, we talked about a lot of good stuff, and here we are sitting at 1 hour and 42. So I mean, we'll go ahead and cut off this live session. How many people do we got left viewing us? Oh, we got one person. That's always good.
I know who that is.
Do you? Who is it?
Probably Adrian.
Adrian! That's our call out to
Our number one listener.
He's probably going to message me and be like, thanks again for calling me out on the podcast, like he just did like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Adrian, you just won a guest slot to next week's show! Outside of that, we get really excited about our one viewer around
That'd be
here.
pretty funny if it wasn't Adrian.
Yeah.
What are some topics that are brewing for next week? I mean, we got into creationism and evolution. That was a good thing, man. I mean, some things that been on your guys' heads. I mean, what are y'all thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking I should take communion next time I go to church.
I'm thinking Arby's.
Arby's.
Didn't Arby's do that bacon promotional thing just recently? What was it, Halloween or something?
Bacon is the devil's meat, so you're not allowed to eat that.
Oh, guess who messaged me?
I thought you were laughing at my joke.
No, you're not funny.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, that has been. Hang on, I'm gonna do it like this. And that's been episode 15 of Empty Rant. Again, you can tweet us at Empty Rant or email us at emptyrant@gmail.com. Also, we have a Facebook page, www.facebook.com/emptyrant. We'll see you here at the same time next week, Wednesdays, 9:30 Central Time. As you can see us on our YouTube link, where we are live to the world, and I promise to get to all of your questions that you have been sending us.
Spring break.
Spring break. Randall, you have any last comments you want to leave us with?
Go buy a King Ghidorah toy.
Oh, okay. How about you, Tony? What do you want to leave us with? What was your favorite part of the podcast?
Shout out to God. Favorite part?
Tell them to buy the King Ghidorah toy.
Okay. No, I don't. They're not our sponsor. Why don't we reach out to them? They can become a sponsor. And we'll just sponsor one toy, not the whole line, just the one toy.
Okay, whatever. And Jesse, what do you want to leave us with, Jesse?
Hail Satan. Good night.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was Satan.
Hail Stan.
Anyways, all right, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Later.
Tony, look at the link.